And I think that's the point. You think about Harry and Meghan and all the rubbish that surrounds those.
The British monarchy fights back after months of negative headlines and suggestions that it's all over, after months of appalling behavior by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
There was a People magazine article that came out on day 2 of King Charles's visit in America. The king has yet to say anything.
King Charles has just got his revenge on Meghan Markle on his state tour of the USA. And this is so beautiful.
No, it's been terrific. The king has really shown after all these years what an extraordinary good diplomat he is, humorous, developed the relationship between, or restored the relationship between Britain and America.
17 standing ovations inside the United States Congress for King Charles, while Meghan Markle was back in Montecito, pushing another carefully timed People magazine narrative, is the kind of contrast that has royal watchers talking non-stop right now. And according to royal biographer Tom Bower, Charles already knows exactly when those Sussex titles will finally be removed. And insiders believe that moment is getting dangerously close. Now, before people brush this off as just another royal headline, listen to what Tom Bower actually said about this visit, because Bower is not somebody who hypes things up for attention. This man has spent decades investigating the royal family deeper than almost any journalist alive. He has written books, interviewed sources close to the palace, tracked scandals for years, and studied Charles long before most people were paying attention. So when Bower describes this trip as a phenomenal success, he is talking about something much bigger than smiling photos and fancy ceremonies. He is talking about influence, presence, symbolism.
Who says that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle did not watch King Charles's speech and are no longer pretending otherwise. We didn't watch. We didn't want anything to do with this. Yeah, that's right. The Montecito moaners. Look at this new revelation just out.
And raw institutional power. Charles walked straight into one of the most politically divided environments on the planet and somehow got both political sides standing up applauding him over and over again. That does not happen easily anymore. In today's climate, people argue over absolutely everything. Congress struggles to agree on basic issues half the time, yet this elderly monarch managed to command respect from nearly the entire room, and not once either. 17 separate standing ovations. That number keeps shocking people because it sounds almost unreal in the current political climate. Think about what that actually means. A 77-year-old king currently dealing with stage 3 cancer, a man whose medical team reportedly spent weeks preparing him physically for this demanding trip, entered Congress and completely controlled the atmosphere from the moment he arrived. That is not ordinary influence. That is decades of image, diplomacy, and global stature coming together in real time. People watching saw more than just a speech. They saw stability, history, and authority wrapped into one figure. Even critics of the monarchy had to admit the optics were powerful. And Bower pointed out something that explains why moments like this still matter so much. He said the monarchy survives because of its mystique, because of the mystery surrounding it. The royal family does not constantly reveal every thought, every emotion, or every private opinion publicly. That restraint creates intrigue.
Well, I think it's been a phenomenal success, and all power to the monarchy. Thank goodness we haven't got President Blair or somebody to do that sort of thing. No, it's been terrific. The king has really shown after all these years what an extraordinary good diplomat he is, humorous, political, able to...
And there have been, let's not forget the man's battling cancer and he's 77. I thought it was an absolute masterclass. I genuinely believe that.
Well, his speech to Congress was terrific.
And according to Bower, that intrigue is where much of their power comes from. Charles almost never publicly exposes his true political views, but Bower insists that behind closed doors, particularly during that Oval Office meeting, Charles communicated exactly what Britain needed communicated to Donald Trump, not through endless paperwork, not through long policy briefings, through decades of relationships, wisdom, trust, and experience built over 60 years on the world stage. That kind of influence cannot be copied by celebrities, influencers, or politicians chasing headlines online. Charles carries generations of institutional weight behind him, and moments like this remind the world why the monarchy still holds influence internationally, despite all the criticism surrounding it. Then, Bauer compared Charles's meeting with Trump to Prime Minister Starmer's meeting, and people online instantly noticed the difference. During Starmer's visit, cameras reportedly caught him kneeling down to pick up papers Trump had dropped, and critics immediately turned that image into a symbol of weakness. One small moment became the entire story. Social media exploded with comments saying the interaction looked awkward, submissive, and uncomfortable. Fair or unfair, optics matter in politics, and that single image shaped public perception almost instantly. But days later,
Whereas King Charles just gave off the impression of a calm authority, and to me, yeah, I thought it was brilliant, mate. Does it help?
So, I mean, you won't become an anti-monarchist overnight if you watch that performance. But the real problem is, of course, that young people and immigrants on the whole are anti-monarchist. And there's a great job to be done, not only by King Charles, but obviously by William too, Prince of Wales, to get more support for the monarchy. And I think this trip will prove to the doubters the importance of a king, the importance of the institution, and why the monarchy transcends politics and represents Britain in the best way possible.
Charles walked into that same building and the energy looked completely different. Trump reportedly referred to Charles as an unbelievable king and a great friend. That grabbed attention because Trump is known for rarely showing open admiration toward world leaders. Then came the moment everybody started replaying online. Charles presented Trump with the bell from HMS Trump, the Royal Navy submarine carrying Trump's name, and the atmosphere inside the room reportedly shifted immediately. Trump stood up, cameras flashed everywhere, the room reacted loudly, and then Charles delivered the line that had everybody talking afterward. "If you ever need us, just give us a ring." That one sentence landed perfectly because it mixed humor, confidence, diplomacy, and authority all at once. The room erupted because it felt natural and effortless. Charles did not look nervous. He did not look desperate for approval. He looked completely in control. That is exactly the type of royal influence Harry and Meghan cannot recreate through podcasts, magazine interviews, streaming deals, or carefully managed public appearances in California.
Guess who has decided to brief to the world? And let me just tell you, I do not believe this for a single second. We didn't watch. We didn't want anything to do with this. Yeah, that's right. The Montecito Moaners. Look at this new revelation just out from Rob Shooter, former royal courtier turned gossip columnist, who says that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle did not watch King Charles's speech and are no longer pretending otherwise. He reports in an exclusive an insider telling him they didn't watch it, not live, not later, not at all.
It looks like Meghan is definitely trying to make some headway against the royals. Harry is beside himself allowing it to happen because he's an idiot. He doesn't get all of this stuff. He doesn't have the proper people around him to make these important decisions for him. So who's making these decisions? Meghan. Oh, she's conniving the whole way.
That moment reminded everybody what actual royal power looks like when it is used correctly. And trust this, Harry and Meghan absolutely watched every second of this from Montecito. There is no chance they ignored the headlines, clips, applause, or international praise flooding television and social media. They saw Charles dominating global attention without needing controversy, complaints, or emotional interviews. That realization probably hit hard, because for years now, Harry and Meghan's public image has remained deeply tied to the royal institution they stepped away from. Nearly every project, documentary, interview, or public statement circles back to royalty somehow. The connection never fully disappears because their fame still depends heavily on that royal association. And people are beginning to notice the uncomfortable reality that the monarchy continues functioning while the Sussex brand appears increasingly dependent on media management and image control. Now, the huge question everybody keeps asking is simple. If Charles supposedly sees all this happening, then why has he not removed the titles already? According to Tom Bower, the answer comes down to patience and long-term strategy. Bower has studied Charles for over 30 years, and one thing he says repeatedly is that Charles thinks in decades, not headlines. That difference matters. Modern celebrity culture moves fast. One controversy replaces another every 24 hours. Social media pushes people to react instantly to everything. But the monarchy survives specifically because it refuses to move emotionally or impulsively. Charles understands timing better than most people realize. And once you understand the strategy behind his silence, the entire situation starts looking completely different. Every single time Meghan uses the Duchess title to secure publicity, business opportunities, partnerships, meetings, or media attention, she unintentionally proves how valuable the royal connection still is to her brand. Every headline using Duchess of Sussex reinforces the exact institution she publicly claimed she wanted distance from. That contradiction keeps getting louder. If the titles truly meant nothing, they would stop using them entirely. But they do not stop because those titles still create fascination, prestige, and commercial value worldwide. Charles reportedly understands this perfectly. If he removed the titles right now in some dramatic public move, it could actually hand Harry and Meghan a massive public relations victory. Overnight, sympathetic media outlets would frame them as victims punished by a cold institution. Endless opinion pieces would appear accusing the monarchy of cruelty. Morning talk shows would discuss it non-stop for weeks. Celebrity commentators would jump in immediately. The narrative would completely shift away from Harry and Meghan's own struggles and back toward attacking the palace. Charles refuses to give them that opening. Second, reacting emotionally would damage the monarchy itself. Bower has explained that royal authority depends heavily on restraint and discipline. The moment a monarch appears reactive, angry, or impulsive, part of that royal mystique weakens instantly. Kings are expected to appear steady and controlled, even during controversy. The monarchy loses power the second it starts looking like another celebrity feud online. And here is the third point many people completely overlook. Removing the titles too early could actually free Harry and Meghan rather than hurt them. Right now, they exist in a strange middle space. They cannot fully separate from royalty because their public value still depends heavily on royal links. But they also cannot truly return to royal life because too much public damage has happened already. That contradiction traps them in place. They cannot fully become Hollywood celebrities because they constantly reference royal history, but they also cannot operate comfortably within royal circles anymore. According to Bower's analysis, that tension itself has become their biggest limitation. So from Charles's perspective, why interfere when the contradiction is already weakening them naturally? Why create drama when time may solve the problem by itself? And the commercial signs people keep discussing are becoming harder to ignore. Spotify ended after one major podcast series. Questions continue surrounding future Netflix plans. Reports have claimed Archewell's financial numbers declined significantly compared to earlier expectations. Several events connected to Harry reportedly saw reduced speaking fees compared to previous years, while public enthusiasm around the Sussex brand no longer feels as explosive as it once did after their royal exit. Charles sees those trends. Palace advisors see them too. And according to Bower's interpretation, their silence is intentional strategy, not inaction. Doing nothing is the move. Bower believes the titles will eventually disappear, but only when Charles decides the timing benefits the monarchy most, not during emotional controversy, not during peak public sympathy. Only when the Sussex brand has weakened enough commercially that losing the titles no longer creates momentum for Harry and Meghan. At that stage, removing the titles would not look like revenge. It would look like the final chapter naturally closing. And according to people reportedly close to palace discussions, that moment may be approaching much sooner than the public expects. Now look at the timing of that People magazine article, because this part raised huge eyebrows online. King Charles lands in Washington and immediately dominates international headlines. Day 1 brings major meetings with Trump, diplomacy, history, warmth, symbolism, and non-stop media attention. Day 2 delivers the Congress speech, 17 standing ovations, global coverage, and praise from major networks around the world. The monarchy was trending globally for positive reasons. Then suddenly, right in the middle of all that momentum, a glowing People magazine article appears describing Harry and Meghan as happy, thriving, united, peaceful, purposeful, and completely unbothered. The timing looked incredibly deliberate to many observers, and people immediately started asking the obvious question: who exactly benefits from that article dropping on that specific day? Every anonymous source inside the article sounded strangely identical. The wording, tone, and messaging all felt coordinated to critics reading it. They are just focused on living their life. They wake up every day trying to be the best parents possible. They are each other's biggest supporters. The challenges only make them closer. Readers online instantly noticed how polished and repetitive the messaging sounded. Critics argued it read less like independent journalism and more like carefully managed image repair during a week where Charles was receiving enormous global praise. And this is where Tom Bower's understanding of media strategy becomes important. He believes Meghan understands publicity extremely well and works constantly to stay visible within major media cycles. Because in celebrity culture, attention is everything. Positive attention, negative attention, controversy, sympathy, criticism, all of it still keeps somebody relevant in the public conversation. But Charles's visit created the kind of global attention that magazine features simply cannot compete with. His trip looked historic and institutional. The People article, by comparison, felt defensive and overly curated to many readers. And the relationship between People magazine and the Sussex camp has already been questioned repeatedly over the years because of how consistently favourable the coverage appears. More than 40 positive Sussex cover stories and features in only a few years is an astonishing amount of support from one publication, especially when so many of the quotes come from unnamed insiders using almost identical language patterns. At this point, critics joke that People magazine functions less like traditional journalism and more like a premium celebrity PR platform with glossy covers and supermarket placement. And the biggest reason all this matters is because public irrelevance may be the one thing Meghan Markle struggles with most. Criticism still creates headlines. Backlash still keeps cameras focused. Debate still keeps people talking. But being ignored completely, watching the world focus somewhere else while somebody else controls the spotlight, that is the real nightmare in celebrity culture. And during Charles's Washington visit, with all the applause, headlines, standing ovations, and global attention pouring toward the monarchy, that People magazine article felt less like confidence and more like panic over the possibility of fading into the background completely. Across the entire 4-day royal visit, King Charles never mentioned Prince Harry even once. And people paying attention caught that silence immediately. Not during the Congress speech, not at the state dinner, not during any official remarks, and not even during casual public moments connected to the trip. But Prince William absolutely got recognition. At one point, Charles referenced Williamsburg, and the audience instantly connected the comment to Prince William with excitement and smiles spreading across the room. It was subtle, classy, and carefully delivered. But everybody watching closely understood the message loud and clear. William acknowledged, Harry completely absent. And according to royal commentators, that silence carried more force than a direct public criticism ever could, because the monarchy often communicates through omission instead of confrontation. In royal circles, who gets included matters, but who quietly disappears from the conversation can matter even more. Then suddenly, right in the middle of what many people described as one of the monarchy's strongest diplomatic performances in years, a glowing People magazine article appeared almost like a perfectly timed counterattack for attention. The timing instantly raised eyebrows online. Former royal press secretaries reportedly warned that the article would only deepen tensions with the palace while damaging any remaining possibility of reconciliation moving forward. Palace insiders allegedly viewed the article as confirmation that the Sussexes are now operating fully outside the royal system with little interest in rebuilding trust privately. But this is where Tom Bower's analysis becomes especially ruthless, because he believes the article accidentally revealed the exact opposite of what it claimed. Bower's argument is simple and direct. Happy people usually do not need magazine articles constantly announcing how happy they are. Secure people do not repeatedly explain how secure they feel. And people who are genuinely unbothered generally are not rushing to place carefully timed stories into publications, while their estranged family dominates global headlines during a historic international moment. That is why critics argued the article did not project confidence at all. To many observers, it looked defensive, nervous, and desperate for relevance during a week where King Charles completely controlled the global spotlight. According to Bower's interpretation, the article was not evidence of strength. It looked more like a distress signal, publicly screaming for attention. And this is where Bower's decades of royal research become incredibly important, because he believes Harry and Meghan never truly shared the same long-term vision after leaving royal duties behind. According to his analysis, their goals have always moved in completely different directions. And now, that difference is becoming impossible for the public to ignore. Bower argues that Harry's emotional attachment to royal life never fully disappeared. Deep down, he still appears emotionally connected to the institution, the traditions, and the sense of purpose he was raised around his entire life. Years ago, Harry reportedly told reporters overseas, "I will always be part of the royal family. I am here working, doing the things I was born to do." That quote still matters because it reveals how Harry continues seeing himself even today, not simply as a celebrity figure living in California, but as somebody emotionally tied to royal service, military identity, and institutional duty. He continued visiting military memorials. He traveled internationally, supporting causes connected to veterans and humanitarian work. Reports also claimed he repeatedly attempted arranging meetings with Charles during overseas trips, including efforts while visiting New York. Again and again, signs appeared suggesting Harry still wants some form of connection with the royal world he walked away from years ago. According to critics, he still wants pieces of that former life back badly. The military role, the royal structure, the family traditions, the public purpose, the approval from his father. But according to Bower, Meghan's ambitions reportedly move in an entirely different direction. Critics argue her focus centers much more around building a powerful celebrity brand connected to royal prestige, media attention, and public visibility. The Duchess title still carries enormous commercial value internationally, and many observers believe it remains central to the Sussex image publicly. Magazine covers, luxury branding, fashion partnerships, red carpet appearances, lifestyle influence, publicity campaigns, all of it reportedly benefits from continued royal association and worldwide curiosity surrounding the monarchy. And according to Bower, that creates enormous tension because Harry and Meghan no longer appear to be chasing the same destination professionally or personally. Harry reportedly still wants emotional reconnection with royal life. Meghan reportedly wants independence while still maintaining the benefits tied to royal visibility and status. Those ambitions naturally move in opposite directions over time. Observers covering overseas trips involving the couple previously pointed out moments where pressure allegedly became visible between them behind the scenes. public smiles during appearances, perfect camera moments in front of crowds, carefully staged unity for photographs. But critics claimed the energy reportedly shifted once cameras disappeared and official events ended behind closed doors. Many observers now believe maintaining the image of complete unity has become part of the business strategy itself, because the Sussex brand depends heavily on presenting them as a united couple, overcoming pressure together publicly. But according to Bauer, the tension underneath that polished public image is becoming harder and harder for people not to notice now. Harry appears trapped between two completely different worlds. He cannot easily return to palace life because too many private conversations reportedly became public through interviews, documentaries, and his memoir, Spare. According to royal insiders, trust inside the institution suffered major damage after sensitive family matters repeatedly reached the public eye. The monarchy values privacy and discretion heavily. Once trust disappears inside that institution, rebuilding it becomes extremely difficult. But Harry also appears unable to fully commit to the aggressive Hollywood celebrity path, either because every new commercial move reportedly takes him further away from the royal identity he still seems emotionally attached to. That contradiction now follows him everywhere publicly, and Bauer reportedly summarized the entire situation bluntly by saying their purposes are not aligned, and eventually both Harry and Meghan will make choices based on what each person individually needs most. According to his analysis, that reckoning moment may be approaching faster than many people realize right now. Then, there is the business side of the Sussex story, because critics argue the commercial momentum surrounding the brand has slowed dramatically over time. The Netflix partnership generated enormous headlines in the beginning, but long-term excitement reportedly faded afterward. The Spotify deal also ended much sooner than many expected, after only one major podcast season. Reports surrounding Archewell revenues also triggered major discussion after claims of declining financial performance over consecutive years. Then came stories surrounding the Australia Women's Summit, where ticket prices were reportedly reduced significantly, while attendance allegedly still struggled to fully meet expectations. Even Harry's speaking fees reportedly dropped compared to earlier years, when Sussex popularity was reportedly at its highest level. Hollywood notices patterns like that extremely fast. Executives, producers, agencies, and investors constantly evaluate whether celebrity brands still create value or simply create more complications than opportunities. According to critics, many influential people inside entertainment have quietly started viewing the Sussex brand as unpredictable and difficult long-term. Bauer reportedly described this as the grifter label problem, because once negative perceptions begin spreading privately inside Hollywood circles, reversing them becomes incredibly difficult. People stay polite publicly, but conversations inside boardrooms become very different. One failed project creates hesitation. One disappointing partnership creates doubt. One underperforming deal changes future opportunities completely. And despite all these warning signs, Harry and Meghan reportedly continue pushing forward with more appearances, more interviews, more tours, more publicity campaigns, and more magazine coverage, because critics believe the brand cannot afford disappearing from public conversation entirely. The spotlight has to stay active constantly, because once attention fades completely, the commercial value surrounding the Sussex identity weakens even faster. Meanwhile, the monarchy keeps moving forward publicly without slowing down at all. William and Catherine released a relaxed family anniversary photograph that spread across social media worldwide almost instantly. Natural smiles, barefoot moments, warm family energy, children, dogs, simplicity, and genuine connection. Many people pointed out how powerful the image looked, because this is a family that has endured public pressure, health struggles, media attacks, and non-stop global scrutiny, while still projecting stability and unity through it all. And according to many royal observers, That contrast now explains itself without needing endless arguments anymore. On one side, King Charles receives standing ovations and worldwide praise through diplomacy, symbolism, and royal tradition. On the other side, anonymous magazine quotes insist everything is perfectly fine, while critics question the timing behind the coverage itself. According to Bauer, Charles understands this entire game perfectly because the monarchy survives by thinking long-term, while everybody else reacts emotionally in the moment. That is the strategy. Patience, timing, restraint. And many royal watchers now believe everything happening right now. The successful state visit, the growing criticism surrounding Harry and Meghan commercially, and the non-stop publicity management feels like the final stage of a process the palace understood years ago. The institution stayed patient, while public opinion slowly shifted on its own. And now, the contrast between both sides is becoming impossible for even casual observers to ignore anymore. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more royal updates and deep dives, because this story keeps getting more intense every single week.